Alright, so, hi there. We're gonna talk about very, very uninterestingly interesting topics because I hate recording. And but what, okay, so yeah, what I mean by that is I hate people that record in public. So I've noticed this is becoming kind of an epidemic thing going on around, and I am not one for it. I understand the difference between live streaming and streaming from your household or recording at your house, but why have live streamers become so disrespectful and so inappropriate when it comes to like the whereabouts of where they're at? And I'm pretty sure this is gonna be quite a controversy topic, but I for one wanted to put my mind on it and say that this is definitely not something we should be allowing. I understand that people want to record when they're live, because they live stream, right, themselves at that moment, obviously, because it's a live stream, and people, they make money out of it, sure. But my issue is that the person that is live streaming is they are very inconsiderate if they think it's okay to be recording with children in the background, especially if you're in hotels and the children are basically half naked because they're in a pool, right? I've seen some videos about that, and I for one do not want to post them up because I thought that was, I don't want to be that person that spreads or shares those type of videos, but it's become very clear to me a lot of people seem to be very inconsiderate. And I understand that people record things like for good cause reasons, such as if angry Karens, because obviously we need to document that because it's going to be history in the books. But angry Karens is definitely when you want to record. You also want to record when you are being harassed by a police officer during that time. Even though they tell you it's not really against the law, you can definitely record them because you don't want to be harassed, and you also have the right to, you have rights, But I definitely draw the line when people live stream while there are children in the background or while they're like in a very inappropriate setting space. If you want to live stream when you're in your own hotel room, that's totally fine because you have all the privacy in the world. But if you're gonna go around while there's children around, that's definitely not something you wanna do. And I understand some people might not care as much because they're like, oh well, I don't care if I'm online, like, okay, great for you, but consider the parents' feelings as well. I'm sure they don't want their child to go online viral unless it was their consent. For me, I would not like to be. I understand I do YouTube videos and I do post videos about me, but the difference is that's me. I gave myself the consent to do that. I did not go out and about and start video recording people. In fact, I don't know how they even do it. I really don't know how people go and record, or it's crazy because I tried doing that, and I'm going to show you some examples, but every time I tried to record, like, for example, I tried to record Hobby Lobby. They got mad and told me I was unable to do it because they caught me, and I was like, okay. My phone wasn't even that exposed. It looked like if maybe I was trying to text something, but no, they upfront told me that, no, you cannot be recording here. I'm like, okay, that's fair. We're doing this as the video because I wanted to see how easily I can get caught. But unfortunately, it took them like a good maybe 15-20 minutes for them to actually understand what I was trying to do. So there's a lot of walking involved. I also went to Michael's and the lady said that I was not allowed to record people, but I was definitely allowed to record the product. And I thought that was super cool because also I didn't want to ask because I was trying to see how much they let people get away with it, without asking permission. I, for one, do ask permission, but because I was making this video and I wanted to see how easily people were able to record and what different jurisdictions they had at different places, I was like, okay, let's test the waters. So at Michael's, it took them a good 25-30 minutes. At Hobby Lobby, it took them a good 25 to 30 minutes in total, I would say, because I was walking around for a good while and they really just did not care. And at Michael's, it took like maybe not even 5-8 minutes because she asked me if I was there to record for a TikTok video or Instagram reel, and I was like, oh, actually, I'm a YouTuber. I was trying to record to see how much I can get away with it because I've noticed people so-and-so record a lot, and I just wanted to see how fast you guys would pick it up. She laughed. she laughed and she was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, well, how was my time? And I was like, really good. It was like not even 5 minutes. And she's like, wow, that's great. So it was kind of fun. So Walmart doesn't seem to give a shit. So sorry for my language, but Walmart seems to not really care. So when I went to try to record a Walmart, look to record all the toys and plushies, nobody really cared. The employee, it's too big of a store, employees don't really care. So unfortunately, they failed the test. But you know, I guess because it's Walmart, it's super big. So I don't know if to give them a chance or either way. No, it took them good. It took them a good while to never know. So after like I think 30 minutes of walking around, I kind of just gave up and I was like, yeah, I'm done. Okay, so I decided that okay, well, let's try something different. So I went to my local comic book store and it was free comic book day, so I decided to try and record at least some stuff, but there was just a huge amount of people there, and I did hear some people say, like, over my shoulder that, oh, I think that girl's recording, let's make sure not to get in her way. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. But then I heard someone else saying that they didn't want to be involved in the video and they hope that they're only recording the product and not people and the line. And I'm like, oh, okay, so double-edged sword here. So for a whole week, I tried to do live recording. I didn't do live streaming, but I did try to at least do a small step and record a bunch of stuff to find out that it's so much harder than I thought, because people kept telling me, or they kept making faces, and I was like, ooh, I'm not here to start a war. I'm literally here trying to figure out the best approach of trying to like record. But I think it honestly it's really hard. It's really, really hard to figure out a nice balance between recording and live streaming, because recording gives you the element of editing. Live streaming, you cannot edit it at all because it's going to be live at that time. So it was a little difficult, honestly. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really tried. And then I also went to Barnes and Nobles to try and record. They said it was allowed only if there were no people involved, and I said, okay, that's fair. Is that like a policy? Is that a rule? But they did admit it's actually out of courtesy. And I was like, you know what? That's exactly what I feel those live streamers might be missing. I think they're missing the courtesy of making sure people aren't involved in videos that they don't want to be involved in, because I'm no offense, if I ever had kids and I saw someone live stream it and I feel like my kid might come out in the background, I will pull my kid away, because I do not want them involved in those videos without their consent. Yeah, maybe my consent, sure, like, yeah, because I'm old enough to make that decision, but I don't care if I have to say, oh yeah, go ahead, my kid can do it. No, I want them to have the appropriate consent from them. I don't want to. I don't want to be involved in that, but it is what it is. Double-edged sword here. So I personally feel like if you're going to do streams like that, if you're going to be recording, please record rather than live stream. And if you do live stream from a place where nobody's there, or where you're probably somewhere safer, like at a cafe in the corner where minimum people walk by. I think with adults, it's kind of okay, but I just feel like please avoid it with children and teenagers, especially with this new age and era where we're all kind of just suffering with so much loss, with a lot of things going on with children. It's not worth it, man. It's really not. Like, I get you guys I get they want the views. I get that it might be their lifestyle, but please have some consideration for the others around you, because this isn't something that they're comfortable with. And I know a lot of people were very uncomfortable when I started recording, because, like, I was trying to just test it out. Imagine if I was actually live streaming. Like, the faces you would have seen from these people, they were looking at me like I was kind of doing something pretty shady, like, or something pretty bad. And that made me feel uncomfortable. And I get it, like, recording, I get recording is great and all, like, especially when I want to do, like a haul or something. But, like, yeah, some people really do seem to be offended by it, and there's quite a bit of people that really don't like it, and I don't disagree with that, because that's not something they're used to, nor is that something they probably want to be a part of, and I understand. So especially when I know if I'm going to go out and about, let's say for example Michael's, I go there frequently during my time as a teacher, so I go there frequently because it's like not even a 5-minute drive. And I like to record sometimes what I get from there, but I only record the product, because the product is what I'm trying to get, not the people. But they have warned me, you know, like how the lady said, you may record here, but please do not include the people. And, you know, Barnes and Noble said that was courtesy, but Michael said that was, I did not get the no, I don't think I got the chance to actually ask him if that was part of their thing or that was courtesy. But I'm pretty sure it might be courtesy, because there's not a lot of rules that say, you know, oh, I want to, you know, I kind of want to record here, but there are people here, you know, like, no, just be courteous about it, you know, like, it's really wrong. You don't want to be accidentally one of those people where they record something and then boom, they get famous for that because of all the wrong reasons. If you're gonna get famous, or if you want to be, you know, that stardom thing, please do it for the right reasons. Please do not include anything that nobody wants included, you know. And if you accidentally include something super cool, like a heist case or whatever, then, you know, obviously that's kind of cool. But no, just please avoid having children in these things, because this is really not a good idea. And it doesn't matter, personally, it doesn't matter the age, just don't do it, like, at all, you know. But that's just personally my take. I try to avoid having people involved in my videos as much as possible. But the hardest one, I feel like, was the one when it was at the conventions. So I would used to go to conventions, and I used to record basically me passing through the places and me going around, walking around everywhere, to only see people kind of really don't care. But some people seem to have cared, like maybe one or two people that cared. They're like, oh, would you mind editing me out, you know? And I'm like, oh, that's not a problem. I'm recording. It's not live streaming. You know how happy she was? She was so happy. She's like, oh, thank you, because I don't want to sound like that person, but I just don't want my face involved. That's why I draw my character. And I'm like, oh, that's definitely not a problem. I understand where you're coming from. I don't do live recordings and stuff because I feel like if people were to see my face, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't want to follow someone that's not that, you know, that good looking, or, you know, like, oh, okay, I don't want y'all to hurt me like that. But I also just love to express myself with chibis, because chibis are so cute, and I love paying and commissioning people for VTubers, because, you know, it's a nice way to give them some money in a career. And look at her, she did such a damn fantastic job. I actually want to commission 2 more from her, but my issue is I don't know if she's gonna remember how to do the model. But either way, I really like it. But yeah, I know there's just a huge problem like right now with live streaming, and I understand. I completely understand live streaming is super popular, especially now, you know, nowadays, because it's more accessible. But the consideration from people has just gone downhill big time, and I really feel like we are failing our community here by supporting these kind of things, and it's just not, I personally do not like that. I really don't. It's just my opinion, you know, it's my opinion. Everybody has the right to their own opinion, and if you are one of those people that really don't care about being online, then great for you, you know, like, that's totally fine. But if you are one of those people that do care about being online, then please say something. Please say something and tell them, look, like, just be nice about it. Go up to them and say that if you record me, please remove me. I do not want to be part of the content, or I just don't want to be a part of anything you are doing. But, you know, like, it is what it is. I'm a sucker for recording during certain events, like behind closed doors in my own room, you know, doing videos like these, or going into other places and only capturing the content rather than the people, because there are many videos I've been wanting to do where I go to stores and, like, grab stuff. Like, there's a new trend, or not new, but there's a trend I wanted to try called book talk, and I thought that'd be super cool to do. But I wanted to do that at, like, a different type of bookstore. Not like Barnes and Nobles, which I think would be super cool. But I wanted to be at, like, a very old, like a very old school style type of bookshop, you know, like, to support your local community bookshop, things like that. So that'd be pretty cool. But anyways, so when I do recordings like that, I make sure to not include the people. So instead of live streaming, I record. And yes, there is a huge difference. Like I had said earlier, live streaming is going to be during that time with no editing. You could edit a live stream after it's finished, which is great. But during that time while you're live streaming, you are unable to edit anything. So when I record videos, which is personally my favorite, just recording, it definitely means I can edit out things in, you know, later on. And honestly, I have to edit out a lot of stuff because it just makes it a lot easier for me, especially if I want to know, like, maybe sometimes I ramble, maybe sometimes I say things that I shouldn't, or, you know, trying to make a point multiple times, things like that. Like, nobody wants that, you know, definitely nobody wants that. So, but anyways, so back to the topic at hand. Yeah, please stop making this a trend, and please stop including young kids involved in live streams, because this is getting a little out of hand. And you know what, if you're the parent that's doing the live streaming and it's your kid, that's fine, because it's your kid. Just please don't involve other kids. Please don't involve these things like that. And it's honestly also getting out of hand too, because there are a couple of times where I saw people were just massively rude just because of recording. And I did have one person get so fed up with me with recording. They were just like, you need to stop. You need to stop. And I was like, damn it, why didn't I record this? The one time I didn't record it, but I literally actually just had my phone out and I wasn't really recording. I was actually trying to search up my manga list, because this was also at Barnes. I don't remember which one, but it was at Barnes and Nobles. But I was searching up on my phone, like, the list of the books that I have, and I was like, okay, so I don't have this one. She must have thought I was recording or something, because I was also talking to myself, and I actually have a habit of talking to myself, because that's just the way I am. Sometimes I'll be like, no, I think I have this. No, I think I have that. Do I really need this? No, I don't really need that. So I guess she kind of mistook me for recording and got mad at me and told me that I shouldn't be recording. She called I forgot what they were, the assistants, I guess? The assistants at Barnes & Nobles. And they had asked me, you know, ma'am, were you recording? And I was like, no, I was looking at my list through the books of mangas that I have, because I wanted to grab a new manga. Because they had a manga sale. It was buy one, get one 50 off. Of course I was going to grab one. And by the way, just out of curiosity, the one I got was Snow White with the red hair, because I haven't finished the series yet. Like, I haven't finished the manga series yet, collecting them. So, anyways, that was the one I got. But anyways, back to it. She got mad at me. I was like, why did you get mad at me? And the lady's like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were recording. And I was like, no, but I can show you the photos. You know, let me go to my photos list and show you my last picture and stuff. So the last picture I had, I can't remember what it was, but let's just say it wasn't recording. I'm pretty sure it was one of my cats. And I showed it to the assistant lady, and I'm like, ma'am, I come here, you know, once or twice, once or every other month or so, but I came here just because I saw that you had a sale, and I wanted to grab it. And I was just looking at my list because I wanted to know what manga, you know, to grab. No! This lady got so mad at me, and I was so mad because I was like, why is this the one time I should have recorded and I didn't record this person? Like, I know I said that you shouldn't be recording people without consent, but like, again, if it was like a Karen or like, you know, something crazy, I probably would say kind of record it, you know, just being a little bit hypocritical here, I guess. But just let me, because it was such a funny moment. Well, the lady got mad, and the assistant told her, like, ma'am, it's okay to record here as long as you don't record people. And I was like, okay. And that's how I found out you were able to record the books and not the people. Because you know, that situation happened. And ever since then, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a video out of this, because I want people to be aware that do not record or live stream in certain places. Or if you do, please keep it to a minimum, because there are people out there that really aren't going to like it. And let's be honest here, just because I like to stream and stuff, that doesn't mean I like to be recorded out in public without consent, because it's not my choice. You know, doing all this is definitely my choice. But just please, if you are out there and you do end up wanting to record, or you want to be one of those live streamers, then that's really great for you. That's really great. Do something about it. Just please be careful with what you're recording nowadays, because it can get you into a lot of trouble. And it could, you know, also be careful when you do record, depending on the app you use or whatever, it can also track your location as well. And when people see that, you know, it's gonna be kind of scary, you know? It's kind of scary. Because I know Snapchat gives out location or whatever, and I had to disable that. And also I got rid of Snapchat because it's just worthless at this point. I'm more Instagram, that's it. Actually, Instagram and YouTube, that's it. But yeah, I would say, so just definitely please be careful with that, and do not step on any boundaries. And if you do see someone recording, just walk away from it. Just walk away. Please don't make a fuss out of it unless they're going way out of hand. But it's just hard how we have to maintain into this world now, because we can't offend people, or else somebody might explode. Because that's the best way I could put it. That is the best way I could put it. Because that lady got mad at me. But she luckily wasn't really a Karen. She was just frightened because she didn't want her kid to be involved in recording. And I was like, well, it's okay. I wasn't going to record your kid. Also, why would I record your kid? Your kid's, like, not even, like, close to me. The kid was in the behind me where the Legos were, because the front where I'm at is where the books. And then, like, if you just turn around, there's, like, a Lego thing there. So I didn't really know. I really didn't know. But she wasn't wrong. At least she said for me to not record and to please not record the kid. So I was like, okay, good for you. Good for you, mother. I'm very proud of you, whoever you were, at least to say that, you know, stand up for your kid because you didn't want the kid recorded. So I wasn't really mad. If anything, I was actually very happily surprised because she was able to put her foot down and be like, yeah, could you please not record? She was nice about it. But she didn't have to freak out that, you know, and grab the assistant right away. So I don't know how to feel about that. But either way, I felt like she at least was a little bit like okay because she was just protecting her kid. So either way, wow, we already passed the 20-minute mark, but I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for hearing my horrible story about my adventure through trying to record. Let's just say it was successfully unsuccessful. I also hated the idea that when I tried to record some videos, my fiance kept telling me, oh, you're recording, oh, you're recording, oh, you're recording. And I was like, shut up. Because the moment someone hears you're recording, and other people are going to take like, don't record, don't record, don't record. And sure enough, guess what happened? Somebody overheard him and they were like, ma'am, do not record. And I was like, son of a bitch. Like, did you like, we were at a comic book store. I was just recording comics and some people kind of, you know, their arms and hands and legs were showing, sure, but not their faces. So I was kind of annoyed and I was like, Dad, like, why did you have to say that out loud? Stop saying that out loud. He's like, oh, sorry, but you are recording. I was like, stop saying it. You're making this difficult for me. I'm trying to make a video out of this. And he's like, exactly, so you're recording. And and then the manager at that place was like, oh, you're recording? Just make sure you record the books. I was like, shut up, you guys. We're kind of good. We're kind of, my fiance's good friends with the owner there. Not the owner, but like the manager there. So I'm just like, guys, shut up. You're making this harder for me. I'm trying to record to prove a point here that it's hard to record. But okay, so overall, yeah, let me sum this up. It's hard to record, and let's just say I'm not going to take it for granted next time. I don't know how people do this. I don't know how people actually record so good. Like, how do you record without getting caught? How do you record without, like, getting problems? Because I watch a lot of YouTube, because who doesn't watch YouTube? And I've seen, like, my favorite artists, like Sarah Renee or Bailey J. They both go out and, you know, were used to. They would go out and grab supplies and record them. And they've even mentioned how awkward it can be just having to talk to the mic and just be like, okay, so this is, you know, grabbing this, grabbing that. And they also try to avoid people, which is A+. Because avoid the people, because you don't want them involved in the videos. Because, you know, perfection, right, is perfect. But anyways, yeah, no, just please be considerate. If you are going to be a live streamer or you're going to be one of those streamers that records in public with their phone, camera, doesn't matter. If you're going to be recording, please be aware of your surroundings. Do not involve children. Please don't even involve teenagers either. And if you're going to involve people, at least have a consent or, you know, because it's very important. And I do get that there's a rule in America where I come from that you do not need to have consent of someone recording. But this is courtesy. As I said, be courteous. Be a human freaking being. You are a human being. We have emotions. We have the right to say yes or no. And you have the right to either be, well, the live streamer. And the live streamer has the right to at least ask permission, you know? And if they don't, then obviously that just shows their character and they're probably not very considerate of you or their surroundings. Because one, they probably want that money, or two, they honestly just don't give a shit. And you know what? That's fine enough. Because if I were to follow a streamer that did that was just so inconsiderate of other people's surroundings, that's it. I'd be like, well, that shows your character. And you know what? If you don't give a shit about other people in the background, or you just don't care, then why am I going to care about you? And why am I not going to, you know, why am I going to care about your content? You know, if you're going to be disrespectful. So, bye. And unfortunately, I have come to that problem with, I think, two TikTokers, is that the term? Yeah, where they've done that, and I'm just like, no, like, this is not right. This isn't cool. It's the same thing as watching a cat video and somebody hurt, like, they see a hurt cat and they just don't do anything about it, and I'm like, do something about it. Do something about it. It's like one of those. I forgot what the term is called, but it's like a, yeah, my brain won't brain. I literally just came back from the gym and I'm so hungry. So yeah, no, it just did not go well, and it really didn't. Like, I just don't think it's easy as people think it is. And you know what? That's totally fine, because it's just, you just gotta have to find a system to work with it. And let's be honest here, if just be careful when you record, okay? That's literally the bottom line. Just be careful. You do not want to have like a crazy experience like me and get yelled at. And ironically, it only happened while I was not recording, which is what I thought was super hilarious. So all the other times I was recording, I was totally fine. But the one time I wasn't recording and I was just trying to grab a book, yeah, I got in trouble. And I'm just like, pues ni modo. How? Why? Like, why did it have to happen like that? But you know what? Whatever. Anyways, so thank you to listening for my little rant. And if you are going to be doing one of those things, you know, if you're going to be a live streamer or whatever, thank you for being considerate about it. And thank you for listening to me about it. Because you know what? You an MVP. You are good people. Thank you for being considerate for others around you. Because if, you know, we all have to be considerate here. Nobody wants to be in that situation. You know, nobody wants to be in that situation where it's just you feel like you have no power, or you just feel like everything, you know, you just can't do something about it when you know you could. You know, we are human beings. We are people. You have the right to say yes or no. You also have the right to walk away or say something. Don't be afraid to say something, because you know what? It might make the person, maybe people don't actually realize it. Maybe the people that are live streaming don't actually realize that it harms other people. So don't be afraid to say something either. And if they do say something, then let them say something and let the viewers watch them let the person show their true colors, because, you know, not everybody's going to be 24/7 happy live streaming for the rest of their life now, are they? So, you know, could be kind of an interesting thing. What if they're secretly horrible, mean people, and the only reason why that they're, you know, they look so happy go-getters is because it's only all for show, you know? But you never know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for hearing me rant, and please be careful when you do record, as I said again. And if you do plan on doing this, I wish you much success, and please be considerate, because, you know, we are all human beings and we all have emotions. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great night. Oh shit, it's night for me. Never mind. Yeah, have a great night. Bye, guys.